Hello, friend. Thanks for coming back. I'm super excited to share with you what this new moon in Scorpio is all about. And if you don't know who I am, welcome. My name is Latoya from Emerald Astrology. I am an intuitive astrologer and I love to talk about the moon. So that's all I do pretty much all day, every day. And you can find me on Instagram at Emerald Astrology or my website at emeraldastrology.com. But other than that, let's get into what this new moon in Scorpio is all about. Already, leading up to recording this, I have lots of feels, and I was telling my friend, like, I feel very rebellious. Uranus must be involved with today's astro weather, and yep, sure enough, it is. So I'm recording this video before the actual new moon, so you have it in time to reflect and get ready for this that's coming up. So I'm feeling the energy of Uranus, and Uranus is going to be involved with this new moon. So I feel like it's kind of a here's some insight of what some people can be feeling. So I feel very anxious. I feel very nervous. It's all in my chest. And that could be because moon's currently in Leo. But anyways, before I get too carried on and then confuse you, we're talking more specifically about this new moon in Scorpio. That is 12 degrees and 40 minutes. It's going to happen on November 4th at 4:14 p.m. Central. I'm looking at my notes because I'm a Gemini and I like to ramble, or I fear that I ramble. So I like to stay on task. Okay, so what is the new moon about? If you're new, if you're returning, I like to talk about, the phases. So the new moon is a good time to set your intentions from the deep reflections that you've gotten during the dark moon phase. So the dark moon happens like 21 hours before the actual moon. New moon, don't quote me, I think that's the right hours. And during the dark moon phase, man, you get a lot of feelings coming up around this time. It's like you're wrestling with the darker parts of yourself. So feelings of helplessness, hopelessness, frustration, anger, um, misplace of power. So you're kind of having to like navigate these feelings and experiences to then come up to the new moon where you can set an intention on doing things differently in that area of your life. So, or just like in general, yeah, just like whatever came up, you can work with that because it is working off of each other, right? So, you pretty much can set your intentions with the new moon. And we just experienced the full moon in Aries. So with that lesson, it was like a combination of standing up or discovering yourself and releasing what doesn't fit during the waning phase. If you listen to the podcast, what Zaria that I do with Zaria, the Full Moon Chat podcast, you can go check that out and see what we had to say about Aries full moon and Aries gifts, and just see if that's what you have experienced during that time. That full moon happened October 20th. So this new moon in Scorpio. So first, I want to share with you the keywords of Scorpio. So these are the themes that you might be dealing with around this time and having to set an intention on working with, because there's some things that are going to be brought up that can be uncomfortable or of themes of Scorpio. So Scorpio has a lot to do with transformation, death, and rebirth. It can be very a destructive energy that can be used for good, or it not intentional and it just destroys whatever. But the thing is about Scorpio energy is intentional, so you could use it for good, or for benefit of self and others, or just benefit of yourself and not, think about the other, because of hurt, if you're feeling hurt or betrayed. So another thing about Scorpio is betrayal too. The feelings of being powerful or being strong. So a lot of power things coming up, like how do you use your power? How do you let other people use their power onto you? Um, it's going to be a very emotionally charged moon if you're sensitive to the new moon phase. So it can be very activating. Um, it can be a great time to investigate things. So digging deeper into something about yourself or, whatever area of your life that Scorpio rules. So you definitely want to look at your birth chart and see where Scorpio rules. Um, I can pull my chart if you want. Oh my God, I'm not my desk over. Pull my chart so you can see. Don't look at all my secrets. But I'm a Scorpio moon. So um, that symbol there is Scorpio. I don't know if you see that. So you have to look at your chart. Got this beautiful chart from Jessie, Little Moon Face. If you want to check her out on Instagram, she's there. But yes, you check out your chart, see what the moon is highlighting, and that's the area of your life that you're setting intention in. For me, it has to do with family because it's my fourth house. So family, how I connect to my soul, myself, how do I feel safe? Um, Things that you guys don't see, behind the scenes kind of stuff. So, yes. And also Scorpio has to do with paranoia too. I'm drinking mud water. Such a Scorpio thing. Um, it helps calm my nerves and stay focused, which is nice. But yeah, so Scorpio also has to do with like paranoia too. Because this is a very intuitive sign. This sign is very intuitive, psychic. It's a water sign. It's a water fixed sign. So it's still water. You have to go really deep, deep, dark, cold water is Scorpio. And there can be a lot of paranoia because you it's like this sense of knowing something's there, but you don't know what it is. And so just constantly having this sense of something's watching you, something's there, something's going on, but you don't have the answers. So you then have to investigate if you're going towards it or ignore it, and then it just kind of grows. So Scorpio has that kind of like dealings of power and how to use your energy in a way that's constructive and constructive, effective, and useful, for their life. So this is having to deal with those kinds of things. So when I think of Scorpio swamp water, like dealings with the swamp, I live in the swamp and I feel like I'm constantly in Scorpio energy, just like this town in general just seems like heavily Scorpio, heavily Saturnian because people work really hard, very long hours, and lots of dealings with betrayal, having to deal with plant workers, etc. So that whole dynamic going on. But so I'm kind of getting off topic here. Um, but yeah, so this moon is ruled by Mars, traditional ruler. I like to look at traditional rulers. I'm currently studying Hellenistic astrology, and it makes a lot of sense to me. Um, so Mars is 3 degrees in Scorpio, 33 minutes in Scorpio. So he's home. He is in his own domicile. He knows how to navigate these areas of life. He knows this energy. He knows where his stuff's at. It's kind of like he's like in his own house, right? And so he knows where the knives are. He knows where his food's is at. He knows where his clothes are. Like he knows where the things that he needs to access are, so he can get it really quickly and get the job done as fast as possible. As if he was in Taurus, it would be like, where's the knife? Where's the fridge? Where's the tools that I need so I can like build the thing I need to build? You would have to like ask Venus the question, and then if Venus not as an aspect, he cannot get the message. So it's kind of like that. So, anyways, he's in Scorpio. He's at home. He knows where his things are, and he's going full on, head on to Saturn. So, but that's kind of, I'm not going to go too deep into that, right? Yeah. So he's already aspecting Saturn by square. So, there's a lot of tension with authority, government. We're seeing that right now, and that tension is building pretty much. So this is the ruler of this moon, and so we are having to set our intentions on how we're using our power around this time. when we're having to deal with a lot of these tensions that are coming up. So in the new moon, again, it's like all about new beginnings. And it's these things that we will be, I feel like looking at these aspects, because I'm about to go into them, kind of gives us the tone that we are having to work through as the moon continues to grow in light. So we're setting intention and then we're having to work through these energies in the next cycle leading up to the full moon. So the moon, of course, is conjunct the sun, making it the new moon. So I see that as new emotional awareness, clarity on what to create, what can be done, and based off of feelings of frustrations, powerlessness, feeling stuck. So be able to, okay, have access to your creativity, your feelings of importantness, um, and the emotional awareness is together. So you're able to do something new and creative with it. Then the moon is also opposite Uranus when it's the new moon. So I see this as, conflict can happen, needing to change because of needing to change things up due to unexpected events. Because Uranus is a rebellious planet, it can be for innovation, it can be just to disrupt, things that are stable. But there can be some conflict here because it's in opposition. There could be a rival, with someone who is out of control. Um, and not following status quo. So you might, encounter that if that's how you deal with this energy, or, in your evolutionary process, it manifests as a physical person for you. It could be it, or it can be internal. And then there could be feelings of conflict about, staying the same out of fear of losing power over something, over someone, or just changing the status quo without full understanding of what is the return. Scorpio is interesting. It's kind of like, to me, it's kind of like Libra, but it's more concerned about what are the things that come with relationship? What are the resources that comes with relationship? What are the feelings? How do we express ourselves sexually? How do we express ourselves emotionally? What is it that we need? What are deep, deep needs that are not getting fulfilled? How can that be fulfilled? So like Scorpio is concerned of things that Libra is concerned about, which is like relationships and making sure things are fair. But Scorpio really digs deeper into that. So like what actually makes a relationship a relationship? So there can be like this, fear of losing some sort of power. And within the relationship, because of needing to change a status quo and not knowing what you'll get in return. So Scorpios, I feel like, are very intentional when they're starting any kind of relationship. Like they know what they want out of the relationship, out of that person, and they already like did the reading and they know what they will get in return. At least we'll try. And with Uranus being involved, it's like it's a wild card. You don't know what you're gonna get. So this can be really unsettling, like how I've been feeling anxiety in the chest. I don't know what's going to happen today, feeling really rebellious or things are rebelling against me. And so all that, dealing with that. And the moon also squares Saturn. So there's this feeling of great tension with the state, how society functions, authority figures, your father figure. And it's having to handle what needs to change. Moon square Saturn is really hard because it requires a lot of, as I see, sorry, I'm gonna turn this. It requires a lot of work. Saturn, the planet, this planet's about responsibility. It can make you feel very heavy with responsibilities. So it's just like you're seeing like maybe like just very like conflict about the responsibilities you have, feeling really restricted and relation to something. And it feels a little like it could be feeling like out of control, like it's hard to get your hands around, or you are being controlled. So it just depends. So this kind of forces you, this aspect speaks about forcing you to make a decision on what you need to do. And it could be growing pains. So this is not necessarily like to throw everything out, and having to start again. It's just, I feel like it's like building upon what's already have been worked on. I don't know if that makes sense. So yeah, this can be feeling like growing pains with this new moon. So the moon also conjuncts Mars by sign. So it's kind of wide orb. So it's not as intense, but it's there. So it's a lot of energy that's readily available, and allows you to do something about, this intention that you have. So Mars is on your side. He's at his in his own home. So he has his energy, he has his tools, has his connections, his resources, and is ready to empower you to do it. So what can you do? How can you make the most of this moon? Yeah, so there's gonna be a lot of outside forces that feel like out of your control that is involved with this moon. And therefore you have to set an intention on how you're going to use your power because of all this that's coming up. There can be, there's a great desire, again, to do something about your feelings. So I need to channel it. So when I was looking at these aspects, I was like, the thing that really came up for me is needing to protect your space, because there's a lot of stuff in the water, Scorpio, and there's going to be filtering to be done. A good Scorpio knows that they need to process their feelings. I shouldn't say the good Scorpio. I should say a more self-aware, emotionally self-aware, evolved Scorpio. I don't know how to use these words. Knows that they have to process their emotions. As me, for a Scorpio moon, I've for a while, like a long time, did not want to do it because there's just a lot there. But in the past, oh gosh, 2014 or so, I've started to be like, okay, I need to face these and work through it. There's a lot. So there's a lot of filtering that needs to get done. So you need to protect your space so that you can filter things through, cycle them out, compost the stuff that is no longer useful. For composting, this is a good time to, get your leaves piles together and the pile, you might get some time in, but anyways, protect your space so that you can filter and work through the things that are no longer serving you. So I think like regularly smudging, using sage or Palo Santo. I personally love Palo Santo. And especially in more particular before and after work. So this is something that I've been doing regularly, and I see a big difference in how I feel, except for today because Uranus has been kind of messing with me. But for the most part, it helps me realize that, this work, whatever it is that I'm doing, Emerald, or I always do it for Emerald, but even my day job, I would pray before it. I would smudge, before work, my own body to clear out whatever things that I, haven't, that clinged on to me or whatever, clear that out before work. And then after work, from dealing with a lot of people and all this stuff, you want to do it after. So constantly protecting your physical body space and also your home as well. So burning incense is also a good thing too, kind of help you get centered, connected to spirit. And you can use spray like crystal sprays, if that makes sense. And if you're in like Jackson, Texas, where I'm at, Charter Chest is a good place to get those things. Another thing too is work with Bloodstone. It's a really good stone. This is a stone that is associated with Mars. So being able to channel those feelings that you're having into something that is constructive, the Bloodstone can help with that. And then during meditation, when you're meditating, you can imagine yourself in like white light. It's clearing your chakras or your energy field, or like pure fire too. Like just imagine fire. Don't put yourself on fire. Imagine yourself in an emerald flame, whatever color flame you like. I like to think about emerald flames. My friend suggested that to me, and that was really nice. Made me feel like, okay, whatever energetically is clinging onto me, or I'm overly dwelling on something, which is a Scorpio thing. Obsession can be like overly, involved in something that is not really good for you. Thinking of yourself in a flame can be really helpful too, to clear that out. And working with your favorite dark goddess. So, it could be Kali, it could be Oya, it could be Hecate. Any of these dark goddesses are really helpful with this new moon as well, because especially if you're intuitive, they will show you, what needs to be worked on, and how to work through it. So that's the message I have for this moon. Hopefully I've covered everything. I think I did, at least my notes. And yeah, if you're wanting more insight, if you're wanting a reading that's more tailored to you and your birth chart, I have my new moon readings available for you. Check that out with the link in the description. You can get your moon reading scheduled just in time for the new moon. Other than that, I hope you have a great new moon experience. Take care of yourself, and yeah, clear your space, protect your space. Bye.